and we go live. So, welcome to the show, Aditya. I am so very excited to have you on our show. You have like 15 years of business experience in the sourcing of agro products. Plus, you're an active investor. You've invested in a company known as Good Milk that deals in plant based vegan products. Also, apart from that, we have been on the journey. We've been working together for 4 years since now in the data driven industry. And I know that you are super, super passionate about what you do and about how you execute things, at least in terms of sourcing. All right. So, guys, welcome Aditya Agarwal. He is a managing director and founder of AIPrime Solutions Private Limited. This company is based in Hyderabad. And I am founder and host of Supply Chain Spot, a podcast that features thought leaders and industry experts from the supply chain and logistics industry. We are starting our new series, The New Learnings from the Industry. It's the new learnings, it's because it's an urge that I wanted to know what's happening in the Indian supply chain industry. Supply Chain Spot is being sponsored by Export Mind Trade Made Easy, a company that provides global trade data for 51 countries across the globe and produced by Supply Chain Spot. A special thanks to Media Genie, who is our brand manager and marketing company. So, as we dive into the today's topic, that is shaping sourcing and procurement in post COVID. Aditya, I know a lot about you because I worked with you for like almost 4 years. But it's for our listeners. Please tell us something about yourself.
Hi, I'm Aditya Agarwal, and I did my education in Manchester University. I did my master's from there in finance, and yeah, it's been a very up and down journey for me in business. And as you have been quite working with me, you know I'm into the organic food business, and in today's scenario, I think supply chain has been very challenging. My interest does lie with the food industry. I think it's ever evolving with time, especially in the COVID times. Essential commodities are more on the higher demand, but at the same time, there are a lot of challenges needs to be managed, and you got to be on the verge.
Absolutely, absolutely, Aditya. I mean, yes, the supply chain has been changing, and you've also been connected with the AI Prime Solutions. So, what does AI Prime Solutions do?
AIPrime Nutrition is one of the largest producers of organic food ingredients, and we
Mm-hmm,
supply our products to US and Europe basically, and it's a premium segment.
mm-hmm,
So I have experience in the commodity segment as well as the premium segment, but there are challenges in both the industries, right?
mm-hmm,
So basically, we supply organic food ingredients to food companies, cosmetic companies, and in
mm-hmm.
today's scenario, yeah, I mean, the my getaway from this is supply chain. You gotta keep your eyes open and ensure you have a better planned and better forecasted with business. Then only you're going to be in the market.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the supply chain has been the strong pillars for any startups. I mean, most of the startups that actually has supply chain involved, and this is the first time that in India we are talking about supply chain. Uh, so, whether it's Amazon, whether it's any of the e-commerce companies or any of the product related companies, so everything is connected with supply chain. So, post COVID, there has been a lot of changes in terms of sourcing. So, how have you seen sourcing being affected after COVID?
Well, ours is a B2B business, right? So the more in a B2B, of course, the new things, new trends have emerged in terms of
Mm-hmm,
e-commerce. We're looking at the B2C factor, but B2B still remains the same. We got to stick to our basics, and because the supply chain is kind of delaying, and especially with the ships coming in, ships going out, so you got to be a
mm-hmm,
little more planned in a B2B business where you're manufacturing and exporting things.
mm-hmm.
Otherwise, in a part of B2C, the whole supply chain has totally changed. I think the people are now going more towards e-commerce. And that's why a lot of startup companies are emerging out of it. And that's where my interest also lies with the e-commerce. We are not
Mm-hmm.
directly into e-commerce, but I keep exploring companies who are into e-commerce if I can invest and be a part of that journey as well.
Absolutely. I mean, and the one company that you have invested is Food Milk.
Good milk.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Good Milk. So, what does
Yes.
Good Milk do? I mean, I've just known a little bit about it, but our viewers want to know what does Good Milk do?
Yeah, so basically, I'm also vegan by nature
Mm-hmm,
because of health reasons, because of global climate, global warming, and other things. So I mean, I had met him through a friend of mine. I really like the product, and they are basically into vegan milk, and
Mhm.
they're trying to develop a different supply chain all over India. Uh,
Mhm.
the most economical dairy-free milk to be there in India today. So, and they are coming up with a lot of other options with different protein powders and many products
Mhm.
which are more on the vegan side, and more at the same time it's more on the health conscious side.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, this is the new initiative that India is moving towards the vegan products and, Good Milk. The products are really, really amazing, guys. Please check out goodmilk.com. They are doing something amazing. They are selling the plant based vegan products at an affordable price in India. Aditya, coming back to COVID, so a lot has happened after COVID. A lot of sourcing has been disrupted. Did you find the automation being more and more getting involved into the supply chain post covid, or the trend of having the I would say the innovation, the technology into the supply chain being started just before covid? I mean, what was your experience?
Well, I think things, especially for a company like us on a B2B front, I mean, the technology
Mm-hmm.
hasn't really changed much. Like I told you,
Mm-hmm.
it's more on the B2C side where the technology innovations are taking a more better front, like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Amazon and Flipkart and a lot of companies, and the drone technology coming in. But from
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
manufacturing perspective, I think still things remain. It's just that we got to be more planned. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, new systems being put by the carriers, those are helping, and that's the way you save time, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's how it is.
So when you spoke about the carriers and stuffs like that, there are a lot of companies now have automated the entire carrier process.
Correct.
Now the I mean, you have multiple loads that has been shipped under one truck. That's saving the energy, that's saving the time, that's saving the money, even for the company as well as the environment. Do you think these kind of practices are being practiced in India?
Yeah, I think those are global companies, so they have the systems everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
especially liners, right? So
Mm-hmm.
from the starting picking up of the container till shipping to the customer's warehouse, I think they have automated things quite well.
Mm-hmm.
But the scenario is totally different today. The availability and other things because of the post-COVID also situation. I mean, availability is a big issue today. Otherwise, the systems are fantastic in terms of shipping out from India or shipping in India and handling the.
Mm-hmm. So could you tell us a little bit more about availability? What are do you have any experience where availability was an issue while making the shipment?
Yes, the huge difference now. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, earlier there were different schedules for every carrier, but today's they're
Mm-hmm.
integrated schedules. Three or four carriers are shipping in the same ship. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, it has gone down. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
consolidation is happening, or how it happened in the telecom sector, which is
Mm-hmm.
not good for an exporter. So earlier we used to pay $2,000 for a 20 feet container,
My God.
and now we're
Mm-hmm.
paying $1,000. So which is a huge impact. So
Mm-hmm.
especially our products are more on the higher price, so we are able to still manage it, but we are
Mm-hmm.
also hit by overall volumes. But especially commodity products, which is a dollar and a half a kilo. I mean, for them,
Mm-hmm.
the impact has changed. I mean, it's completely stopped, right? So, like America, Europe, they started buying from nearby regions, and it's more viable for
Mm-hmm.
them to buy them instead of shipping from Asia.
Yeah, I mean this is a great point that needs to be discussed, because post covid a lot of companies have taken out their areas of sourcing, especially from the asia. Did you think that this has a positive impact or a negative impact in india? Because earlier china was a huge shipping partner, but right now what do you feel?
Right now, see, I don't do directly any business with China, but what I know, the freights have really gone up. There are a lot of regulatory changes also happening within China, right? So it's not just the COVID situation. It's
Mm-hmm.
their internal protocols and other things. Of course, COVID is affecting, and China.
Mm-hmm.
See, nobody can ignore China, right? Like if they stop supplying steel, the prices shoot
Uh-huh.
up. So,
Uh-huh.
they are affecting the entire globe right now. So. I mean, it is impacting. And of course, if the Chinese product don't come in, it's a temporary advantage for other countries. But some or the other time, they're going to resume, right? So
Yes.
we have to also see that into the factor. This is a temporary situation right now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, within these 2 years, again, we had the third wave coming in. There were some areas that were locked down during the earlier of January. I don't know if you're aware of this. So, how is a business affected because of these lockdowns? I mean, especially the supply chain, because even if the entire markets shut down, the movement of goods shouldn't be stopped because the entire nation is relying on it.
I think it's more country specific. A country like America is
Mm-hmm.
still taking money. There are some delays. A country like
Mm-hmm.
Europe, where the consumptions are completely cut down because people are more
Mm-hmm.
scared. People don't want to consume. So I think it's a country specific problem. European
Mm-hmm.
consumption has gone down. US still is working. Even though prices are
Mm-hmm.
up, they still are high. I think, yeah, that's the way it is. Yeah, and of course, the price is gone up. Inflation is on the sky. So
Absolutely.
all the demand based requirement, people are shipping cargoes. Like I told you, high value cargoes are moving. Commodities
Mm-hmm.
have completely cut down, but still now people have started accepting the price levels and they're still buying. I mean, the food, like for example, oil, they have to keep
Mm-hmm.
buying. Stop. Even the price becomes from $1 to $4, they still have to consume it. I mean, eventually the
Exactly.
end consumer is suffering. They have to pay a higher price, and people are losing jobs at the same time. So the overall, it's not a good situation for the consumers.
I see. I see. I mean, yeah, that's a right point that you have suggested, that it's currently not a favorable situation for companies as well as people because of the post-COVID effects that people are going through right now. Uh, so, Aditya, we have been talking about the sourcing. So there has been a huge change in the sourcing from the last 10 years. 10 years earlier, we were accustomed to a more traditional way of sourcing, a traditional way or a strict way that we used to follow, and that has been taken over by the technological curve,
Correct.
right? So when we are heading towards the future, what do you think, how is sourcing going to take the next few innovative drive to get things under a set pattern, or increase more productivity?
Well, it's going to be company to company, right? Like the larger companies are going to automate it. Maybe some AI system will start coming in. The
Mm-hmm.
bidding system will start, and it all depends on demand and supply again, right? What kind of
Mm-hmm.
products they're dealing in. If they're
Mm-hmm.
dealing in commoditized, ready available products, then it's all going to be online. If they're going to be specialized products, they're going to do it in person, plan it way
Mm-hmm.
ahead. So I think it's going to depend from company to company, the size of the company, and as well the type of the product they want to procure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Things will start
When
things will start getting integrated. Like it will start getting more integrated online, and it's going to become online purchasing, even with the
so
B2B.
it's so it's going to be integrated into our company as well. So when I
Yes.
talk about an automation that's happening, if I'm tracking my container, if it's leaving India, and if it's on waters, and I want to know where it is exactly on waters, so with the help of automation I can know, okay, this my shipment is on waters, and this is the expected dates that it's going to reach the port, and these are the number of delays, whether if there is any delay or not, and all of these things are going to be automated, and it's going to make our life more easier.
Yeah, yes, that's true. Well, a lot of information is still available online with the
Mm-hmm.
logistics, checking the information. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
transparent. But yeah, things are going to keep improving with time. It's
Mm-hmm.
all the carriers' efficiency, how well they understand customers, and how well they integrate systems. So it's all going to be depending on them how they want to improve things.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one more thing that has been emerging when we are talking about the supply chain and logistics industry is the carbon offset. So what do you think, how carbon offset is actually helping with the supply chain and logistics industry?
Well, I think the equipments are improving. The equipment what the companies are using, the
Mm-hmm.
ships, the trailers. With time, they're using better equipments. With that,
Mm-hmm.
automatically, I think the carbon emissions will definitely offset. And the systems they're putting, I mean, I mean, if everything becomes automated, right, with the new
Mm-hmm.
equipments, that's the way it is. That's why it's got a major impact. Otherwise, physically, you have to handle a thing, you have to ship it out, right? So what needs to happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we've spoken about AI nutrition, and you said that you are actually more into B2B products. So is there any specific usage of your product, or it's been used under various other industries and various other categories?
Yeah, it's used into various industries: food, nutraceutical, cosmetic. We do raw materials, basically raw
Mm-hmm.
ingredients. So
Mm-hmm.
oils. That's basically used into almost most of the industries, both food and non-food.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. So before we come to the end, we just want to know how what is the future of sourcing in India? What are you thinking about how sourcing will change in the upcoming years?
Well, it would be more on the commitment-based sourcing. What I feel,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it all depends on like estimation, forecast of what you're doing, more
Mm-hmm.
commitment with the suppliers, a deeper relationship with them, which is going
Mm-hmm.
to ensure you a better supply, timely supply, and reliable supplies are really important. I mean, that's the way to go in order to secure, especially in this period. I mean, if once COVID is really coming down and things come back to normal, then of course, then there are better ways. But I think this is the way to go. And this will continue to stay for a while. This kind of commitment with suppliers.
Absolutely, absolutely, Aditya. I mean, thank you so much for taking out time. I highly appreciate. I really look forward to see how AI Prime Nutritions grow up, and in this current scenario, surviving itself is a great question. But the way you have been progressing, I have seen you personally for the last 4 years, and I'm super, super impressed with what you're doing, and we are tracking your business. So, any company who wants to know more about what AI Prime Nutritions do with the product categories, because they are a company that sells B2B, so you can check out their website aiprimenutritions.com, and you can see how they are growing fast and how they are, making new innovations in terms of product specific related to product category. Okay. And I am super excited to see where you're going to go next and push the industry forward. So I if you want to know more, please check out AI Prime Solutions. And just give me a second. I think we've covered almost all the questions here. Thank you so much for coming on our show, Aditya, and thank you listeners for listening to supplychainspot.com with your host and founder Poonam Dungerwal. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive discussions about sourcing, about AI nutritions, about logistics, and everything that's happening in the Indian logistics industry. So, if you have any story and if your company is related to supply chain and logistics, you want to share what you want to do, please come on our show. We're going to have you live. We're going to discuss what you're doing. We're going to discuss the new innovations that you're doing towards improvement or adding colors in the Indian supply chain industry. Also, stay tuned because we have another guest coming up next week. That's Gansham Lukhi on an interesting topic. Can manufacturers stay ahead of the technological curve? He is the founder of Tapi Foods, and he has some amazing experiences and stories to share with us. Until then, stay tuned. Take care. Jai Hind.